there's gonna be a lot of people that don't agree with me on this, and I know dislikes are gonna be fucking hard as hell. But this week's SAO2 episode, that was bad. Though, and you know what? I'm not gonna judge the whole series because of this episode, because I think every series needs a bad episode. If you don't have a bad episode, I don't think there's anything, to make you look forward to something else. There has to be a down point in a series. I think they just reached it. Because there are a lot of there were quite a bit of problems. I will say this. One of the problems is the animation in this episode. Because at the same time, there are scenes that looked really good, like the CGI bullet and like the cracking of the gun's scope. Yet, in the same time, there was also the animation of Death Gun, where he just, like, at the end of the episode, when Death Gun's, like, striking Kirito, and his arm isn't moving, but there are slice marks everywhere. No, that's just... Really? That's what Akame ga Kill did, okay? I expected that from Akame ga Kill. I have very low expectations for that show. Sword Art Online, going by A1 Pictures, I expected a bit more, but hey, maybe they're saving that budget for Aldo Noah Zero. Haven't watched that yet. I hope that's what they're doing. But, the flashback. Let's get to the flashback, because this is one of the things that I feel as if I need to cover. There's a difference between repetition and build-up. The thing with this flashback is that it's simply repetition. It's stuff that we already know, and we know that Kirito has PTSD. We've known it for, episode 3 or 4? We know that he's killed somebody. It's not that we need to be told every episode what his motive is. It's like when you watch an episode of, like, the original Naruto, and he's like, I want to become Hokage. I want to become Hokage. I want to become Hokage. It's like, we know that shit. We don't need to know it. We don't need you to keep telling us that you want to become Hokage. We don't need Kirito to keep telling us that he killed somebody. We know he killed somebody. We know the impact it's had on him. They don't need to keep emphasizing it. It's already emphasized. And I feel as if this is like reading the Epic of Gilgamesh, where it's just like, hey, why are you here? My brother died. Why are you here? My brother died. Why are you here? My brother died. It's like you don't need to keep repeating it. It's already been stated. That's not build up. That's just simply repetition. Now, if there was more build up, I will say this: the cave scene where they were planning the how they were going to take out what's his name, Dark Wind. I do believe that was good build-up. I do believe that the entire plan leading up to it, the sensing kind of had tension, although I do think that the sensing went, like, way too fucking long. What was it? It was almost, like, 45 seconds. The Kirito was just, like, sitting there, like, sensing the environment around him, and I understand that that was necessary, but I don't think that much time was needed. That's my only issue with that scene. I think that was just, like, way too fucking long for him to be sensing stuff. But, the build-up in that scene was okay. I didn't really have a problem with that. I do wonder how the hell a bullet took out an entire tower and split it in half. That itself doesn't make much sense. I wouldn't necessarily call that a plot hole, but I will say that was stupid to say. Now, there were a couple of plot holes that I want to get to. And maybe these aren't plot holes to you, but I do find these issues. Number one, you guys remember last episode when the guy that hired Kirito, I can't remember what the fuck his name is, had talked to Asuna, and he said that the only problem with trying to get Death Gun's real name and stuff is that the thing is run by an overseas company, and that, it would be tedious trying to get the information. Being tedious is not a reason to not stop a criminal. But in this episode, Kirito's like, yeah, we're already searching for it as it is. But I'm like, wait, didn't you just say last episode it's too tedious to do it and you're not going to do it yet? So how are you in the process of doing it or are going to do it if you just said the last episode that you shouldn't do it or that you won't do it? It's contradicting, and either that's... I don't remember if he said that they were already in the process of doing it, but if they were in the process of doing it, then that completely contradicts what happened last episode. I know I did have another one, if I can find it real quick. What did I say? Oh yeah, the metal blade that Death Gun had. Okay, so someone please explain this to me. If Shinon is such an expert on Gun Gale Online, alright? How is it that she knows what that type of beam sword, whatever Kirito, I think it was called the energy sword that he has, she knows that exists, right? So if she's such an expert, even though she doesn't know or that she doesn't have a sword, she should at least know that there's metal swords in the game, right? Why wouldn't she? If she's already like an S rank caliber player and she's this good, she knows so much about the game and she's played it for so long. She knows what most guns do. She knows what most swords are able to do. How does she not know that there are metal swords in the game? How? You would just think that if she's able to tell Kirito everything that she did at the moment, she would be able to tell him that there are metal swords in the game, and that maybe he should start off with a beam or an energy sword and just work up to getting another sword. Why didn't she just do that? This episode of SAO, man, just... But like I said, every series needs a down point, and I think this was SAO's down point. I think it'll get low from like this point, but I don't think it'll ever go back to this low. And I know that there are going to be some people that get all over me for being like, you're being too critical. I don't think I'm being too critical. I'm just like, there are things that I can bring up. I think there was like like when Death Gun's gun broke, even though I don't really think just putting it like shooting a bullet to a gun would really break it. Like breaking the scope shit and break the gun, but whatever. The fact that it's like he has something like a blade within his gun. Don't really know how that would work. But hey, maybe it's possible. I don't know. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you guys do enjoy, please leave a like, comment. Mahoka's better cheer me up today. Aldenoa Zero. I will see you guys in the next video. Deuces.